who has had food allergy and food sensitivity testing done before? I know I have. And it was totally different from the process of food mapping that I went through in the program. Do you or someone you know have ADD, ADHD, autism spectrum, or a sensory processing disorder?
Well, today we're here to talk about it in a whole different way. And I guarantee today you're going to hear about these diagnoses and symptoms in a way you have never heard before. So I'm totally excited. Here we go.
The special guests tonight, I think you're going to really be excited to get to hear some insightful information from our two guests. I'm going to go ahead and bring them both in right now. We have Ms. Jody and Ms. Bex. Thank you both so much for being with us. Jody, could you just go ahead and introduce yourselves to our audience?
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Jody Howe, and I am a retired elementary school principal. It was a public school of 500 students, and of those 500 students, 100 plus were preschool autism children. And I was in education for 26 years. I am currently in the Transform University program. I'm in week 9, and I have to tell you that I am a heck of a lot better than what I was 9 weeks ago.
Say hello to Bex.
Thank you. My name is Bex Boyer Taylor, and I am a mother of 2 autistic children, and I myself have autism, ADHD, and sensory processing disorders diagnosed.
All three.
All three. All three.
And
Now,
Bex,
I can hardly see the person that I came into this program as the woman I see in the mirror today. When I came into this program for fibromyalgia, long and mast cell activation disorder, I had no clue that it was going to also give me my life back, make my brain function again, allow me to do things, dream. It's been amazing.
Whether you're an adult or a parent or yourself having those symptoms, this is a very lonely journey for most people. Kids and adults with these diagnoses and symptoms have tons of food allergies. And that's the thing. They already have a sensory processing. A lot of us have sensory processing. So texture is already a big deal. So you're already almost destined to be like, oh, simple, refined carbohydrate. But then you put on top of it, how many people think they're eating healthy and they're not aware that their level of food allergens that their body's reacting to is really high. So the fact is that even if you quote unquote feed your child or yourself healthy, how many times is it 1 or 2 of those healthy items that are actually triggering an allergic reaction? Not only are we dealing with blood sugar, food allergies absolutely matter in this population, because if you think about it, every time this kid eats something that gives them a tummy ache, every time an adult does this, eats something like this, and they have to go diarrhea, food trauma is really real for this population.
right. And you can have anaphylactic allergies, or you can have sensitivities that are these low and slow ones that you can't quite put your finger on, but they're causing some big issues behind the scenes.
Bex, you had something to say about food mapping, the process we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and what I was really going to go into is one of the key things of the program is no gluten. One of the biggest things for my children is when my children are not on gluten, they are different kids, myself too. And it's not, it's not a food intolerance for us. It's nothing other. We don't have celiac, but I noticed the difference in myself and my children when we eat gluten. I've been gluten-free for 15 years.
What do you notice, Bex, is different when you're
Goodness.
being glutened and when you're not?
Brain fog. Lots of brain fog when I eat gluten. My ability to think is very much, and then you also have physical discomforts. Your stomach doesn't feel good, and because your stomach doesn't feel good, you have pain. And when anything is in the background, just irritating you like that, of course, your sensory issues are worse. Your inability to be socially appropriate is worse because you have something that's at the point of your existence affecting you adversely. So if you can take away those adverse effects, if you can make sure you have a snack, if you make sure that you're not eating things that harm you, that those foods are easily available to you, like at school, I think it would be huge for kids.
Well, but here's the thing, guys, is that here's the thing, ladies, is that the answer that we hear out there. So conventional medicine docs said food doesn't matter. Feed what you can feed them that they'll eat, right? If you talk to a naturopath or a functional doctor, a lot of times it's elimination diet. Let's put these kids on an elimination diet or adults on an elimination diet. These kids are already really limited because of their sensory issues, their food reactions. And then you're going to eliminate like 60% of their food in their diet. Like that's really going to work. I want to know how many people out there did an elimination diet on their child with these symptoms and it worked. And then the other thing is that I really think it's important, and I'm a crusader for this. Absolutely. The only reason that you should be really eliminating a bunch of food is based on absolutely accurate data. And that's why I think for me, food mapping was really crucial. And Jody, I don't know, what was your experience with food mapping?
It was eye-opening. So I was all red, like extreme in the dairy area. I have eaten dairy. I loved cheese. Who knew? I can't have the protein, I can't have sheep's milk, goat milk, yak, you name it. I can't. And who knew,
Yeah.
but it makes a big difference. And going back to what Beck said about the gluten, and, now I'm dairy free by default, but the gluten made a huge difference as well. And I think if that food mapping could be somehow part of the
Everybody needs
diagnosis or part of the evaluation procedures in schools, I think it would just be so eye-opening, and it's just more data.
I agree with you, but the problem is food sensitivity testing truly sucks out there. You talk about elimination diet sucking, food sensitivity testing, and the people that are doing it and administering it truly is very inaccurate. And that's why for me, like, it took me 16 years to really come up with our food mapping process so that it's data driven and accurate, right? But the thing is like this is and you guys, you trained with me for weeks and weeks around how to understand food mapping accurately, because the truth of the matter is when people have a lot of food allergies and they're in a very highly reactive population, there can be a lot of what we call false positive, false negative. There's also tests that are really bad and there are tests that are good, but that's the minority. So I think you guys underwent a whole educational process to understand false positives, false negatives, what to pull, what to reintroduce. I mean, this was a big deal. And that's why for me, like, I am an advocate. You got to have data, but you better damn sure make sure you have accurate data and a process that educates you guys on how to actually accurately administer these results.
It's so true, because when we talk about food mapping, this is something that Dr. Maggie has specifically created. Food mapping is not something that you can go to another doctor and say, hey, I'd like to go through food mapping, because I think a lot of us, and let us know in the comments if you speak from experience with this as well, who has had food allergy and food sensitivity testing done before? I know I have, and I know it was very expensive. Bex, you had it too?
Yeah, I did.
Right. And it was totally different from the process of food mapping that I went through in the program.
Yeah.
And what I learned through Dr. Maggie and that process really was able to truly eliminate those sensitivities now to where my body's less reactive. It's not in a war zone with itself while I'm eating things that it doesn't like.
I think allergen management in kids and adults with these symptoms is critical. I really do. And it can be the difference between, and people, and we've seen it. Somebody was just eggs, but by eliminating eggs in 2 weeks, your kid don't have 50% or 80% of symptoms. Is that important critical data? Right? For any of you guys out there that are watching this, if you know somebody, please help me raise awareness. If you can tag somebody that you know in the comment section, that'd be really great. And then if you have any questions, we have additional trainings and resources that we're happy to share with you. But we can't share it with you. We don't know that that's what you need. So if you comment in the comment section, that'd be super helpful. We're also going to drop a link with which you can chat our team. So our team will drop a link right now in chat, and also on top in the copy of this video, there's a link to chat our team if you want more information to learn more.